This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody. Good morning, WFO Universe. Joe Costello here, and I know you're not used to this. Like, what is it? Is it 4 in the afternoon? And we will be back at 4 this afternoon with Tommy Johnson Jr. and Eddie Krawick. It is going to be great. Cannot wait. But this bright and early version of WFO Radio, we're going to connect with the 85-time winner, ties Bob Glidden. That's always a big number. He's the 8-time champ. He was just on the show a few weeks ago. Tony Schumacher just seconds from now. So, yes, start a watch party, share the show, be ready. Got to tell you real quick about the people who make it possible. Talking about SantaCoreUSA.com, Silverthorne Industries. You see them around the track. They helped bring us back, helped us abide by all the rules of the state of Indiana so that everybody could be as sanitized as possible. And look at us going into the final race of the season. SantaCoreUSA.com. Also, Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology, Matt Hartford. And Total Seal doing a great job for us here on WFO. Check out their brand new website. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. Of course, they got November 20th, the Dragster Adventure coming up. If you want to drive dragsters on November 20th in Gainesville, Florida, go to their website, give them a call. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Speaking of Houston, Texas area, they were down there in full force. And Marvin Rodak and Rodak's Coffee and Grills.com, hot sauces and spice rub, everything good. In fact, after our next guest won his 10th U.S. Nationals, in an impromptu interview, he mentioned a little Marvin Rodak and Rodak's Coffee. Let's talk to him. Let's find out. He just won his 85th race. Tony Schumacher getting ready for Vegas. What's up, Tony? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm getting loaded up. I'm heading up to a ranch right now where we got some of the baddest dudes in the world doing a collective kind of competition. And I got my simulators up there for the practice tree. We'll be doing archery. We'll be shooting different things with some of the greatest military special forces guys in the country, so in the world. So
that's awesome.
Getting ready.
Yeah, man. You had a 20-year relationship or longer with those guys, and just because a sponsor pulls out, the human relationships you've built, they don't go away. And so that's kind of cool that you get to go out there and do that, and especially after winning this race. It was 2 weeks ago we spoke, and you said you wanted to be back on the show. You made it happen, and in such dramatic fashion, going through both Torrance cars. And I know your fans, they had to be puffed up about that.
I think a lot of the fans are. Torrance wins a lot of races. And, we had our day like that. And even my fans would call and say, dude, at the end of the day, man, you're killing it. We don't need to watch the race anymore. We know the outcome. So when you pull off those big round wins like that, it's a gratifying thing. Camping World being new, that's the first trophy that sits on the shelf here amongst 85 trophies, that they all say different things. Now, the cool part about that is I don't know if we get a jacket. When you win a race, you get a coat?
Yes.
I don't know if we get one yet for Camping World, but I have the Winston Championship coat. I have Powerade Full Throttle Mellow Yellow. And now I have a chance, next year, the year after, whatever, to go out and win another Camping World one and add to the collection. But just an awesome race. I mean, I won the race. My team won the race. My dad won the race. It was race 356, right? That for him to win. Our car number is 356.
Huh?
My dad's original car number was, take a guess.
356.
That was such a lucky guess.
I know.
Seriously. That was just random. You just get. But anyway, I mean, that was simple. I called him and I said, man, Mike Lewis sent us something going, do you guys realize what you just did? Win 356, car 356. And I thought, man, there's a reason for that, because heck, right before us, one of our funny car wins, and they've won so many. So for us to pull that one off, just a beautiful piece of work.
All right. So yeah, let's go round by round and get to the final. Then we can watch the final where you did not run a 356, unfortunately. It was a 366. That would have talked about setting the world on its ear. But it was a good weekend all around. You qualified well. The car was coming around. I mentioned yesterday with Alan Reinhart, spoke with Mike Green after you had your idler pulley problem in Gainesville. And man, I saw the guys, they were so mad. They were mad at themselves. They were mad at the situation, just missing a qualifying run. And I talked to Mike about it, and he's like, we're just not right yet. We don't have everything. We don't we're not in the full flow of what it takes to be a team out here that contends and gets everything right all the time. But he was really internalizing it, which I loved. To me, it said that the competitive fire and drive was there, and I felt like you guys were going in the right place. So qualify second, got to run Cam first round, and it was kind of a weird situation. But, you got through with the 371, but he left real early. What happened there?
Well, he just left before the tree came down. And, the way I drive, and I'm not going to go over it because I sure don't want to teach people what I do. But, not the fans, you're all welcome to call and get that information. I just don't want to. I don't want to teach drivers how to be better than they already are, like in their own way. I get prepared and I get amped and I get my foot in a situation. I just wasn't there yet. We were barely staged, and he left, and the tree hadn't come down. So I thought, man. And then he went out there, and there's a lot that goes with brake pressure, foot location, leg location, and I wasn't in position to hit the gas yet. So he left. And he left so early, I could clearly see the red. It was bright as day. I knew the game was over. I hit the gas, and just, my job was to go out there and try to get lane choice and go in shallow and do all that stuff. So, a lot of people do that. They take, and if they cut a closer to the green light, that was a 330 something red, right. Ultra red. But if they just nip it, sometimes we have killer lights. Like, we're like, oh my God, we hit the gas, and we don't necessarily catch that they're red lit, but that just was blatantly early, and it's very obvious. So it made it look like I was a day late, but he was a day early. And at the end, it's over. You're calculated, and you got to do what you got to do. So that was just, we got a good run down the racetrack. Our car at that point wasn't getting to the finish line. It was going 900 and something feet and shutting off. And it's a computer system deal that they had put in the car to keep the car safer. And I said, Mike, we got to get it down there. But they made some adjustments, and it did a little better. You get to that final round and win by 2,000. That thing shuts off at 920 feet. We just I lose on a hole shot there, So
yeah,
we got it worked out at the right time. Go ahead.
Second round. Well,
yep.
It's you were having a good weekend, and it shows that momentum is the thing in drag racing, and to build upon. Had a good weekend. You got to go up against Doug Foley. Great to have Doug back out there, but consistent. 71-2 first round, 73-5 second round, and you're able to get through the round to set up the back-to-back Torrances. First up going to be Billy. Talk a little bit about Doug, though, and how we're seeing people come back to drag racing, which is great. We want to see you back out there full-time next year. I'm hoping that happens, but it's kind of interesting, the old foes battling it out.
Yeah, and Doug Foley is a great dude, but we knew he had a quicker car, So again, I'm a calculated driver. We knew he was going to run a 380, high 370, and we were going to have to get down the racetrack and go for lane choice. And he went out, had a good light. I did my standard run down the racetrack, and we didn't run good enough. Drove through the clutch, just didn't have enough in it. And sometimes when you back the cars down a little bit, you mow through the clutch and put a cylinder out, give up a little bit, and we gave up lane choice, and here we got to run Billy, knowing they have a great car, and knowing that, his son had gone out and run 60s consistently, and they can go take that data. That's what we do as team cars. If some car's going to run someone that we need to get on the trailer, we're going to do everything we can to help. And they had a car capable of going out and running good. We got fairly fortunate in that third round. He ran out around 75, and we just made a great run. But still, those are monumental runs. We could not let Billy and Steve race in the finals again. We just can't do it, And I'm going to tell you something. They make great fair runs. They're not the kind that tosses. We can't let those two continue to go into the final round. We have to stop them. We have to stop that momentum, and we have to get it back to the DSR side.
I love hearing you say that. I love hearing you say that because, first of all, I'm a big fan of Steve and the family, and they were over. Mama Kay and Billy were the first over to your team to congratulate you. They know what it means to have you, the winningest Top Fuel racer of all time, be back in the winner's circle. But your fans have to be energized. Otherwise, it's not as fun. Like you said, when same people win all the time. And for you to make this statement, it's got to get people excited for next year. Like, this is who can stop these guys? Tony Schumacher can stop these guys. You got through Billy, and now you're going up against Steve. And it was so meaningful for Steve. Going into the final race, the pressure would have been pretty much totally off. Now he's got to do something.
Well, he knows what he has to do, and I think he's got to show up there and just be there, and that sometimes is worse. I swear to God, when I showed up, all I had to do was qualify. I said, we won 15 races in 2008. All we had to do was show up and qualify, in Vegas. That was the worst amount of pressure. So we won all these races, and it's going to come down to me just having to qualify. And then we're going to talk about the fact that I just had to qualify after winning all those races, having a dominant year. So it just puts pressure on him. Like right now he's thinking, okay, don't stub your toe. Don't do anything that opens a door for, a Coletta or a Leah to come back in this miraculous way, because I will guarantee he's watched some of our runs and he knows that it is possible to do some crazy things. And how ironic would it be for Doug Coletta to come back and pull a run number 2? That would just be crazy. Wow.
Wouldn't it? Think about that. You just made it very exciting for everybody this weekend. Like, it does happen. Who knows better than you? You know better. Let's watch that final round where Steve ran great and just got beat.
Mike Green, the crew chief, steps away. 2 top fuel titans to close out the weekend in Houston, Texas, and set us up for a finals in Las Vegas. Torrance is out first. They get to the finish line. Tony Schumacher! Wow, what an appropriate way to end this one. 28 10,000ths at the stripe, and they absolutely threw the hammers at it. Low ET in the meet, 366.9, an instant classic final round, outrunning a 368.7 for Steve.
I got the hair standing up on my arms right now. This is an amazing final round.
And another Wally is in the hands of the winning
Brian Loans, Tony Pedregon here, and Amanda Busick on the end. Poor job of editing by me. Side-by-side 360s, side-by-side 330s. And he's right. Instant classic. That's it. Heavy hitters. The greatest of the now, the greatest of all time, coming back, trying to get back into the fray. And what more can you ask for? Tell me about setting up for that 66 and knowing you had to bring everything.
Well, Mike knew it too. I knew that as a driver, I was going to have to sit up in that seat. But Mike knew that running out there, driving through the clutch, not quite trying hard enough, wasn't going to cut it. That they were going to run in the 60s, flat out, that he was going to have a good light. Absolutely. To the point that when we took off, Steve out first, that's how they started. And basically saying there's just no way to catch him now. He's got a faster car. And he left. And it was just like, what? But Mike, sitting in that trailer, we talked about it. We got to run in the mid 60s. And the computer shows we got it in there. Here's where we're missing it. Let's get after it. If we go out and smoke the tires, so be it. But if we get outran because we wussed out, that's a stupid way to play this game against that car. So we have those conversations. We talk about it. He rolled in a little deep. You can, most of the people know that you can just look at the 60-foot. They were 8, 16, 8, 18, 60 foots, incredible 60 foots all day. And then they go out and, slow it down 830 or 840. You rolled in a little deep. He did what you're supposed to do in the finals. You roll in, you shorten the track, you do what you got to do. So outstanding, epic race. And it comes down to, he beat me in my last race down the racetrack in the Army car. On a hole shot with a 30-some light, doing exactly what he just did. And I think I had a 53 light, which is a kick butt light, right? There I had a 50 light. Had I had a 53, I lose by 1,000th of a second on a hole shot again. That is the intensity of this stuff. We're talking
championship, right? That was to win the title, if I recall correctly. And this back and forth that we've got going, like, greatest of all time, greatest of now. Can we can we keep that going? You've made the top 10 in points. You're going into this final race. You're showing the leadership. Everybody wants to know, like, what do you think about the future? And obviously there's no better proof than holding the Wally up at the end of the day.
Well, I wish I had an answer for next year. We got an awful lot of interest. It's a lot. For a matter of fact, some of the guys I'm going out with today, they all own different companies. A lot of these military guys, when they're done, they have contract jobs. They go out and make some new products, and they know what the military needs. So we're going out there to do a little schmoozing. I'm gonna do some cool stuff. But I wish I could say, here's our announcement. Man, I've been working on it a long time. Was incredibly pleased that I got to run these races. That someone stepped up and went, you know what? We're either gonna miss out or just Tony gets to drive. My dad and Sandvik, Okuma, Toyota, stepping up and going, we want this. But it's not a full guarantee for me next year. So it was just a get back in. What it did was allow my name and face to get back out there, because people do forget fairly quickly, so it was nice to do that. It was nice to go out and go, okay, we'll take 3 different cars and go out and qualify 1, 2, and 3 in 3 different cars, and then give them back so you can have them, and take a new car out and go do it. Me and Mike Green, we have a great chemistry. It's just it's calmness. We don't get, many drivers or crew chiefs that get put in 3 different cars in 7 races would get a little miffed by it. I'm not. I said, okay, I appreciate it. We're out there to really help Leah and help Antron get some of their stuff back in order, and we're doing a good job at that. So if there's a company out there ready to go, we're really working on some pretty unique and fun things. That Army deal was 19 years long, and for 19 years I was gone from my house. We did so much stuff. So I'm really looking for the right product match with me, where I can enjoy, go out and battle. And I got pushed on a lot of airplanes, jumped out of a couple, drove some tanks, done everything you could do with the Army, recruited the best tool that the Army had ever had in the history of their sport for world for recruiting. And, now it's time to just find me a good product, find me something I can endorse, go out and represent, win some breath. Here's one thing I do want to know about. Winning has become, and I need this to get fixed. Winning is important. Remember the day where you won on Sunday and you sold on Monday?
Yes.
Well, now all of a sudden, winning's like, we need that back. We need that, because that is what the fans showed up for, the excitement of the win. We've lost some of it, and I hate to talk about social media. I'm glad we have social media, but you got to be able to go out and do what you do, win these races, sell products by winning. And, I'm not sure what over the years, we have so many kids watching this stuff all day long. They watch this stuff instead of watching what products work in the cars. We got to get that back, because we have the best products. I mean, DSR, the whole point of us manufacturing parts and pieces is to make the best stuff. That is what we do. So kids, get out, watch who wins races, watch how they win races, watch how they select team guys. As far as parts and pieces, that's important. But guess what? Without my crew chief and my 9 guys, that thing don't start itself. So there's a lot that goes into this sport. It's the energy, in the pits. It's the energy around our teams that make it great. Get out there and check it out. This is the best sport on the planet.
Well, we just saw an example of what it can be like, and that was fantastic. And the heavyweights slugging it out, and not the same guy winning all time, a legit rival for Steve and those guys, hopefully next year. And I think about guys in the Army, guys that maybe joined the Army because of you, and it's 20 years later, who knows, those guys are going to start, if they were lifers, they're going to start retiring. What do former military guys do after they retire? A lot of them go into hunting, they go into fishing, outdoorsmen. And our new Camping World title sponsorship is touching all of those touchstones. So maybe there will be something where when you win on a Sunday, they can say, man, I'm going to go get that new Super Tony Schumacher limited edition cooler or certain product. And that's where we got to go with this. And piggyback on that relationship that you spent 20 years building. I think that is where we're going to go. And I know you guys are way smarter at that than me. So you're way ahead. Let's talk about a couple other things. You mentioned that you're engaged. I didn't know that was public news or not, but you mentioned you and Summer, you guys are now engaged. How new is that? Had you dropped that, or was that like a equivalent slip?
No. I proposed actually on TV in Indy at the first race. I didn't know if I'd have a second race,
Right.
So, and I think I did it on the first day. I said, I don't know if I'd have a second day, like it was all new. So we did it. I wanted it to be with all the people that couldn't come to the races, and her family was, a big part of that. They couldn't be out there. I wanted to make sure that they got to see it and do it. So, it was really, really cool. And, just got a million texts and, hits on Facebook and Instagram, it was posted everywhere. So I don't know, you must not have, TV or something.
I watch NHRA.TV, and I just missed it. Or maybe I forgot. I don't know. I want you to know that I approve. I approve. She's a very nice person. She and I had time talk when you were on the mic with Brian and Tony during your downtime last year. She and I got to talk a little bit. Hardcore lifer drag racing fan. That's what people need to understand. Like, talk about people who love and appreciate drag racing. She is definitely in it and loves it. Going to Vegas. Vegas is cool. Final race of the year. I think we're all excited to put this one in the books because it's been such a tough year. Normally I get bad news out of the way at the very beginning of the interview, but I wanted to celebrate this win with you, especially for our audience here on a morning show. And we'll be back later in the afternoon with Tommy. But one of the DSR family, and he had moved on from DSR, we're talking about Eric Lane now, but won championships with Tobe and Caps and was definitely a positive energy. And I just, I wanted to give you the opportunity to speak a little bit on Eric and that tough situation. I know we're all feeling it. You guys at DSR are probably feeling it more because you witnessed the work ethic and the man that was Eric Lane. And I know that energy went beyond any one team that he worked for throughout the organization, because that's the kind of person he was. Where's your head on this situation?
Well, just devastated for the family, and I don't just mean his wife and daughter, but I mean the whole racing family. If you followed all of it on Facebook and Instagram, it was so many people were touched, and not a bad word was ever said. It was a joy, it was a joy to be around, and one of those people that you just go, wait, what? Of all the people in the world, that's just that can't happen. And off trying to fish in between races and have a good time in a small town right down from me. By the way, I'm in Austin, Texas, and if you go when I drive to Dallas, I don't go down 35. I go up through Marble Falls and I wiggle right through that area, and I know where they were and I know the whole situation. It's just, it shows how our racing family comes together. Yes. Me and Steve kicked each other's butt last week, but in reality, that was our friend, and he was everybody's friend, and it hurt everybody, and it's a sad deal. And most of the people on the road with us are as close, if not closer, to family than our family. We're with them 250 days a year, so it's a very, very sad thing. And in my career, I've been through a few of them, and I can remember them, and it's they got to know we love them. That's it. We love them.
That's it. When is the wedding? Scott wants to know. When is the wedding? You're not getting invited, Scott.
I want to know. We all want to know when things open back up and we can do it, when her family can come. They were at the race. So when you said Summer, is a super fan, she's a family. Like her brother, Joe Penland Jr. raced Alcohol Funny Car. And for the people watching, you all remember that beautiful maroon and black car that just said Penland. And that was an awesome. He won the championship in Alcohol Funny Car in '95 against us, and he was racing the Bartone. Everybody, there was nobody of the bad to the bone Alcohol Funny Car drivers that was not racing at that time, and he beat them all as a fairly new driver, and then did the mic drop and was gone back running Quality Mat Company. That was cool.
That's great. Steve referenced Alcohol Funny Car last week. You referenced it. The category that like the hardcore, most hardcore of the hardcore really love, especially from a driver's perspective, because all that is going on. I love all the love that Alcohol Funny Car has been getting over the past couple weeks.
It's a great sport, you know, and for the people that are driving the Alcohol Funny Cars and the alcohol dragsters and injected nitros, we do watch you guys. You know, we're watching, we're seeing who's doing it right and who speaks right and who's. So, you know, I'm not trying to replace myself, don't get me wrong, but there will be needs, you know, so keep doing what you do and kick some butt.
All right, before we let you go, I got a reference, like talked to Caps earlier this year, and his crown molding game was like the best I've ever seen. Like, my gosh, the crown molding. You with the millwork back there, Tony, like the wood wall. Like, look at that. That is fantastic. I feel like I'm in a steakhouse. Like, where's my locker to put my wine? Like, that is good stuff.
Yeah, we got a pile of my stuff. We're walking out the door in a little while, but yeah, this is Summer's done a pretty nice job. You know, she knows how to decorate. I feel like I'm in my studio, so you know I'm talking intellectually about drag racing. You know,
yes.
Because mind you, I work for 6 minutes a year, so I have a lot of time to read and educate and build in case I ever want to go to Formula E. You're
the most interesting man in the world right now. You just need the cigar and, you know, like an ascot. You wear an ascot right now, you would be great. Hey, thank you for making the time here. I know it's early, but this worked out. I feel like we're good. I feel like we have got to promote Tommy a little bit later on today. 85 wins. One final question. The Bob Glidden 85 win number. I know you grew up in that time when that happened, like 85 wins, Bob Glidden, and then Forrest tied it. That was like this incredible milestone, 85 wins. Like, oh my gosh, you have 85 wins, and that's the bar for Top Fuel. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it's just awesome. You know, I didn't know that I'd ever get there. A year and a half I sat out, and I thought, man, 84, it's an even number. It's not quite high enough. 85 would be the one. And I never dreamt that we'd be able to get a team put together so quickly, go out and run with just the, you know, if you ever walk over and look at our trailer, it's just the engine shop. It's not even, you know, everyone else has these trailers and they're all set up. I walk in to find tape and I can't find it. It's we don't have the room. So we're borrowing parts, we're borrowing pieces, and to go out there and do it anyways against that level of a car is really it's really owed to Mike Green and the people he put together, because I can do my job. I've done that, but having a crew chief at that level that can give me a car and be able to assemble, keep everyone calm when parts are breaking, just all the things that come along with coming in, kind of getting in the way of the other crew. You know, you got the Antron guys, you got the Leah guy, you know, he's got to walk softly, not to disrupt, and then to go out there and just run so well. He's done a great job.
Amazing. And you've done a great job, and I appreciate you coming on the show last week, couple weeks back before the Motorplex, and now here after winning in Houston, your 85th career victory. And who knows, there might be another one waiting out there in the wings after this weekend. The finals, 1.5 points. It's going to be in Vegas. You're already in the top 10. You can cover a couple of more spots in this very bizarre 2020 year that we've had. But there's been good news as well, your engagement, getting this victory. And hopefully we're all crossing our fingers that we can see that final round like 5-6 more times next year in 2021 and have it go back and forth. That's what the sport needs. Great job, Tony. Thank you very much for spending time with us here on WFO Radio.
All right, guys. Bye.
There he goes, Tony Schumacher. Thank you, Tony, with us here on WFO Radio. Thank you to you, the audience, the WFO universe. How about the wall, the wood wall? Like, I want to do that. That was fantastic. Felt like it was in Capitol Grill. It was awesome. But now the final round, Brian Loans nailed it. Instant classic. That's what you need. If Steve goes out there and beats Tony, and this is no disrespect to Steve, we just did a Facebook takeover of Steve's page last week, was great. And I really think that Steve is exactly what the sport needs. But now what Steve needs is a genuine rival, someone that can stand up to Steve and occasionally land a punch and knock him down. And, you know, you got Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali, right? And the reason that worked so well is because they could knock each other down. And Tony Schumacher and Steve Torrence can knock each other down. We just saw it. Steve leaves first, runs 68, loses. If I told you that happened at the start of the race, you would not believe it. but it happened. And who did it? It's Mike Green. It's Tony Schumacher. They've got a massive fan base, the rivalry that we need in the stands where fans are pointing at each other and saying, no, not today. That is what makes it fun. And we need him out there. And it's, whose fault is it that no one has been able to step up and rival Steve? Well, it's Steve's fault. They've been dominating. And so maybe we've got ourselves a little something to grow for next year. And I'm certainly excited about it. And Tony, like, he's still to this day, he's probably been on the show more than anybody else. That 15 win season, he was on WFO. We were on XM satellite radio at the time after every one. He is one of the most well-known drag racers in the world. He's certainly the most well-known active drag racer at this moment. And got the job done flat out and knows how to communicate it. And I wish him luck. He needs a sponsor. He needs a good sponsor, something that he can promote and love. And the fact that he's got that Army connection, like there's something there. And I also think that in our new post-COVID marketing universe, I'm 47 years old. I can't support Tony Schumacher by joining the Army. And I can't go buy a big CNC machine. As much as I'd like to, I'm not, I'd have to go to samtech.edu to learn how to program the thing. I can't do it. I would love to be able to support Tony Schumacher by buying a product. And that's what we're doing, something preferably mail order. All right, put your comments in the comments section. Yeah, we're not going too long today. We're going to be back at 4:00. Mark it down. Set a reminder in your phone. Set a reminder in your phone that we'll be back with Tommy Johnson Jr. a little bit later today. But right now, speaking of products that you can buy to support this show, Silverthorne Industries, SantaCoreUSA.com. Santacore, stepping up here in the month of October. And Tony Shortall has done such a good job developing this product at a critical time. SantaCoreUSA.com. Hit their website and order. Get yourself a gallon, like all these little bottles that you have. Refill them. You don't have to go out and every time get a bottle. Like if you do the math, buy in bulk. So I'm going to put that up in the chat section right now. Silverthorne Industries. Go to their website. The little packets that I got right here. The best innovation as far as I'm concerned, because you just throw it in your pocket, or your child goes to school, they put it in their pocket, and if they have a problem, they open it up, they use it, and they throw it in the garbage. And recycling. Excellent product, Silverthorne Industries, and really appreciate them stepping up here on WFO Radio. Frankly, when we really need it. This was a critical time we've all gone through. Total Seal piston rings, the leader in ring seal technology. If you're building a bracket engine, if you're building a stock eliminator engine, if you're building a top fuel engine, Formula One engines, some of them have Total Seal piston rings in them. Matt Hartford doing a great job this past weekend. Sometimes you lose. He's 15, runs a better ET, loads up first round. Had to run Jeg, the natural. What are you going to do? TotalSeal.com. Plus, we've got our podcast on there, Hidden Horsepower, and we're working on Judd Massengill from samtech.edu, the innovator, the guy who realized that we need to teach these kids if we're going to keep motorsports going into the future, is going to be on Hidden Horsepower in the near future. So it's going to be kind of cool. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. All that motivation, it's great, but you need the appropriate foundational education, and that's what they do there. And so if you want to be a crew guy, if you want to be a CNC programmer, if you want to be a motorsport EFI tuner, if you want to be a machinist, blockhead CNC programs, they're approved to train veterans under the GI Bill. Speaking of folks in the Army, go to samtech.edu. Check them out. Also, Marvin Rodak, RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Coffee, hot sauces, spice rubs, grilling, grills, outdoor kitchens down there in Fort Worth, Texas. Everybody that tries it loves it. I started my day off with Bang the Blower, his extremely highly caffeinated blend. I knew I was going to have to speak with Tony Schumacher, and I was going to have to meet his energy. And I feel like I did. I feel I didn't meet the woodworking game, but I met I've got soundproofing up. Woodworking, soundproofing. Oh, you know how echoey it would be in here? But call Marvin, 817-924-6821. Go to the website, RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com, and get in on the coffee game. FrankHawley.com. November 20th. This is a very specific call out. Gainesville, Florida, November 20th. What are you doing? You in the area? If you're a couple of hours away, as I know so many are, we got listeners in Tampa and Orlando. We got listeners in Georgia and South Carolina. November 20th, there will be a fall adventure, the Dragster Adventure, and you can drive a dragster and have a little fun in a day experience with Frank Hawley. Go to frankhawley.com. Also, WFO Radio face coverings. Listen, do this now. Get yourself a WFO Radio face covering, just $10, and shipping is included, and I'll throw some stickers in there for just $10. $10. Go to the link. You pay with PayPal. You pay with a credit card. You pay however you want to pay, and I will send it out immediately. Like as soon as I hang up this phone right now, as soon as I hang up, I'm going to go send out some face coverings. Very good. And of course, WFO Radio stickers. If you send a self-addressed stamped envelope, I'll just send you some. P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida 33084. Castella Media /WFO Radio stickers. All right. Do we have any comments in the comment sections? If not, we're just going to bust out of here, and we'll be back at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Tommy Johnson Jr. and Eddie Craywick. And everybody is very curious about, like, Eddie back in the winner's circle and what does it all mean. Got some photos, and we'll talk all about it with Eddie. Let's see. That's an awesome way to put it, Joe. That's why we buy products. If it's good enough for the people in the sport, it should be good enough for us. Well, yeah. Win on Sunday, sell on Monday. But what is it? Is it a Cobra Jet Mustang that I just saw somebody win in and I want to drive that car? Well, if I'm in the market for a car, yes. But I'm not in a market for a car. I want things that I can buy and I can feel close and represent and support. In our modern world, that's what it's all about. We know now that marketing people are marketing to us. We're not dummies like back in the day, Mad Men, where people are like, oh, wow, there's a product on the screen. Look at that. Maybe I'll get it. We know what people are doing, and we make our decisions at a higher level, like who's doing good in the world, which product is the best, which one will attract women, all of these things. And we know, but also you want to be able to get on board and buy, like our WFO Radio face coverings. It's $10. You throw $10 Costello's way, it's going to be very helpful. Why wouldn't you do that? All right, we're going to see you guys a little bit later on today. Tommy Johnson, who thrust himself back into the championship fight, and Eddie Craywick, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Mark it down. Also, Patreons, thank you very much for your support. Those of you who support the show directly. Thanks to our sponsors again. We're going to go out with the sponsor logos, and we'll see you in a few hours. 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks to Tony Schumacher. Thanks to Allie over there at DSR. Really appreciate what you guys do. See you at 4. WFO.